back to Life is Hard TV, the life show for the rest of us back here at Glenroe Spirit Shop. John Haight. How's it going, John?
Good. Good day. Good to see you.
Good to see you again. We have something very exciting, very interesting for you all today. Great educational resource. And we were talking about tasting and how palates develop and whether something's fruity or oaky and all that stuff. And John said, well, there's a wine wheel.
Right. A lot of people have trouble finding words to describe wine.
Right.
And someone invented that.
So that's excellent. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a closer look at the wine wheel. John's going to walk us through it. And then there's another version, kind of a spin-off from that, but great stuff.
All right, well, Dave, this is a version of the wine wheel. It was developed in California by, I believe, Ann Noble. She's now a retired professor from the University of California at Davis. And she tried to come up with a way to make it easier for novices, really, to describe wine, to help them understand wine. Because, you know, people will say just, oh, it tastes fruity. Or it tastes oaky, as you said, or it tastes buttery, or it tastes... And she's taken that a couple of steps further, where she breaks things down from not just fruity, but what kind of fruit, and then she gets even more specific. So, for example, if you're having a wine that you say is fruity, you could look at the wheel here, and here's the general category of fruity. Now then you have to think about it, are you tasting citrus fruits, berry fruits, tree fruits, tropical fruits, cooked fruits, or other? And these are just some of the terms. It's not all the terms that's used for wine, but these are the ones that often come up in wine drinking. So now that you're starting to specialize, you say to yourself, all right, if I'm tasting citrus, what am I getting? Am I getting grapefruit? Am I getting lemon? And lime's not written on there, but obviously you could be thinking about that. For red wines, if you're tasting berries, and a lot of people say that, oh, I taste berries. Well, what type of berries? Blackberry, raspberry, strawberry, blackcurrant, which has that cassis flavor. So that's how this wheel works. If you're saying, I taste some sort of tree fruit, well, cherries, apricots, peach, apple. So you can it kind of helps you to specialize your language, the words that you want to say for it. Sauvignon Blancs, for instance, if you're drinking a Sauvignon Blanc, a lot of people will get that herbaceous quality. Well, you can kind of think about, what is it? Is it cut green grass, which you do get from Sauvignon Blanc, or green bell pepper, eucalyptus, or mint? So all these start with a broad category, narrow it down a little more, and then they get even more specific. So these wine wheels were developed specifically for novices, really, to try to help people understand what terms are being used and how to further their education. There's even some, if you look, where you can say if you're getting some faults in the wine, like if you're saying you smell some chemicals, so you might smell rubber, garlic, skunk, and those are really marks of a flawed wine. So, and that does happen. You get wines that either aren't well made or aren't well stored, and they taste pretty nasty. And so these are some of the terms people use to describe that. And so this was developed quite a while ago, and I'd like to show you another version. This is, in a sense, a knockoff, and this comes from Germany. They brought it down to two different wheels, one for reds and one for whites, and they became even more specialized. So if you look at their version, if you start with fruity, again you see stone fruit, the citrus, and it goes on into the things, other categories, and they're trying to keep theirs tailor-made for German wines. And so there are many German reds. We don't see too many here, but they're big on their reds back in Germany. They don't ship as many over here as they do the whites. So one of their big reds is Pinot Noir. They call it Spätburgunder. And if you look at some of the descriptions, you see like up here, spicy. And you'll often see that in Pinot Noir. A little vanilla, a little cinnamon. You often can get that in Pinot Noir or Spätburgunder from Germany. To go over to the white side, since they're more well known for Rieslings, if you look at the start over here, you get fruity, and again with Rieslings you're going to get things like citrus. You're going to also get some peach, and depending on how well aged it is, you can even get some petroleum tastes with Rieslings. So these wheels are really great for people just learning, and it helps them to decipher the terms that you know, that that regular wine drinkers have been using for years. Just makes it a little bit easier to do. It gives them a little more confidence. Even on the back of these, they'll take different grapes, and like here's that Spot Burgunder, which is really Pinot Noir. And here's a typical flavor: strawberry, blackberry, violet, smoky, leather, vanilla. For the whites, Riesling, the biggest grape in Germany. They're saying vineyard peach, apple, grapefruit, rose blossom, honey, cut green grass. So they've tried to make it easier for you, that you can just take a look at the grape. Here's some characteristics, and here's some things that it might taste like. So now as you're tasting it and smelling it, you can try to put two and two together. So these are really called aroma wheels, because we get more information through our nose than we do through our taste buds. So if you ever had a cold and tried to taste wine or anything else, you know how you can't really taste it. So these work for mainly with aromas, but you can carry it through with the tastes. So developed in California, been imitated and copied, and they do give her credit, Ann Noble, and she's still out there. She's on YouTube, by the way. If you punch in wine aroma wheel, you'll see her with this, and she's got a couple videos. So if you're out there in Life is Hard TV land, give it a try. Check it out. So, and you can also get this in a t-shirt. So I'm just enough.
Okay, John, that was great. The wine wheel, I'll tell you what, as far as invented for a novice, if someone starts talking fruit to that degree and aromas and different tastes, you're going to sound like an expert. So that's great. And you told us a little bit about where we can get those. We'll put that up on the website, but definitely worth it. And I'll check out the ones from Germany. I like the version. So excellent. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Life is Hard TV. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you again soon.
Join us for the next one. And you can also get this in a t-shirt. So I'm just enough of a wine geek that I think I'd wear this. But,